You are live, so I
Go
should
to your
be,
YouTube.
and I should be.
Get out of there. Just go to the page real quick. Yeah.
Ah,
Right there.
yeah, but look. Oh,
Here.
thank you.
Here you go.
So it works. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
So
you're good.
now what we got to do. Yeah, but look. Oh, thank you.
Let's see what microphone's on. Hit settings over there.
It's this.
You sure?
It's my mixer. Yes, I'm sure that I said it. All right, so.
And I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, well.
But I could have done the shopping last night for food. And...
Yeah, well. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're good. Okay. Oh, because it heard it play back and it's doing it again. It's looping.
All right.
What is it? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. What is it? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So,
I'm going to run you the stuff.
all right. Did they have them?
Have what?
The connectors? Oh, I thought you were looking that up.
Oh, no, I didn't look at it. I looked it up on the way over there.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. All right. Did they have them? All right. Yeah.
But it's USB to.
No, it's no USB.
I'm sorry. HDMI to.
Here, I'll give you a cable to take. I need something that's going to turn the big one into a little one.
This cable doesn't.
Yeah, this. I said,
We need more of these.
I need long ones, and I have long. I have long these. So if I can turn the
What
long.
if these extension cables on these?
Yeah. If you get a regular extension, that's right. If you get a double female regular HDMI, get 3 of them. You're in business.
Or more of these.
Yeah. Matter of fact, get 4 of them in case I got to string cables. Thank you.
See what I can do. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll pay you when we get to it. Thank you. Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3 here with Maj Toure, Libertarian National
Can
Convention.
you move in a, Jesus Christ. I really need to put those mics closer.
We can hold them. Let's just hold them.
All right.
You got enough slack?
Yep.
All right. Do this. Okay, so
I'm not going to keep you long. I know you got a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, that's cool.
So
I guess I'm recording this on my
record it to the stream. Yeah, just record it. You can stream it to your YouTube too as well. We'll pick it
I'm
up.
streaming it to my YouTube and recording it there. 'Cause
Gotcha.
I don't have a
No problem.
money account.
Let me know when we're ready to go.
Hold on 1 second.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Whoa, it's loud. Headphone. I say,
All
what
right.
was that? What, did you just not? Did you make a?
I just went testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. All right.
Let me see. Maj is his.
Okay. Oh, never mind.
Good.
You guys are fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm looking at 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's it. All right, ready? All right, so we're here. Craig Pasta Jardula. I'm here with Don DeBar. I'm sitting down with Maj Toure. Maj, when I did the Jimmy Dore show, I was able to get you on that show. And a lot of people were like, they weren't
Who's
used
that
to
dude?
They were like, who is that dude? And you know how I answered that question? I said, if I have to answer that question, I kicked that a little bit. Maj Toure is like this new modern day libertarian. He's bringing a whole new dimension to the party. And I think there's a lot of people in the party who are excited about the fact that Maj is bringing this whole group of people. And it is this kind of mindset of liberty. You run Black Guns Matter.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me if I was on point, if I'm describing Maj Toure right, who Maj Toure is?
Yeah, that's 100% correct. I'll add on that there are people that are hesitant and resisting to that new group. A lot of times in movements, people hide their bigotry and their bias behind patriotism.
Yeah.
And they like being the popular kid in the room.
Yeah.
So there's a few of those goofballs around, but by and large, that's 100% correct. We need to make sure that, we saw yesterday, the Bronx, Trump, that thing over there was insane.
Mhm.
These are blue cities that generally they've been told, a lot of Republicans will say, get out of the blue cities, get out of New York. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Then you got 10, 20, 30,000 people showing up for the Trump rally in New York, which is a blue city.
Yeah.
And that's like AOC's district or something like that, right? So saying this to say, ignoring the urban demographic is stupid. The people that get really rich in urban demographics, whether that's restaurants, whether that's bars, whether that's, whatever, there's money there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's political money there as well. So to be hesitant to that change is kind of like you're not thinking about the bigger picture.
Okay.
And so, but generally, by and large, a lot of people, the smarter and wiser people in the movement actually see it.
Okay.
They see it and they're like, yo, we can't reach that demographic, but we got a guy that can reach that demographic.
Yeah.
And that's introducing us to liberty principles.
Okay, so let's stay on that too as well. It's not that I want to talk a lot of shop because those same people that are pissed off at you are pissed off at me, right? Because I come from the left. I consider myself a leftist libertarian. I do have social views, socialist views. My friends are Marxists. We're all about labor movements. We're not part of that cultural Marxism, which wasn't even invented by Marx and stuff. But when you use terms like bigotry or whatnot, I think it's kind of triggers a lot of these old school libertarians here. Do you think it's more about them losing their grip of power and getting jealous about somebody coming in? Or do you think it's just something new for them having to deal with this whole new culture of people coming in? I mean, Black Guns Matter to them might be like, oh, wait a second. Why should they use like the Black Lives Matter? Why should they use Black Guns Matter? Shouldn't it's all guns for everybody, for every United States citizen?
But that's the funny thing. The statements are never exclusionary. The statements are just, hey, we kind of forgot about this group of people. Can we highlight this? So when you talk about Black Guns Matter, we were saying, hey, this area was targeted with gun control primarily and dominantly. Yeah. This was started to stop so-called people of color from having the means to defend themselves. Yeah. That's what happened. So if this is the area where we're light, we need to highlight energy about the information in this community to bring them on board. Yeah. The people that are upset about that, it's not that they don't have power. That's number one. Yeah. Because they can't stop you or someone like myself or yourself from doing whatever we want to do. So that's not a sign of very much power. They can get on social media and say stuff, and that's great. My 8-year-old can do that. That's not a big deal, right? But to say things on the internet, stand on that principle, move forward with it, and continue to do the work that's necessary. Now we're talking about holistic approaches. I think that people dismiss terms, ideas, and concepts before they have a chance to actually flush them out and think about them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power of media. Media has told you a word. They've told on the left or the right. They've said that this word is bad. It's not in alignment with your thing, but you haven't thought about it. So if we have somebody like Mark Cuban tweeting out or posting out saying, I'm about to write a check for $240 million for taxes, and I'm proud to pay for that. Well, Mark, get a better accountant, number one. Number two, this conversation about being proud to pay, you're not actually being proud to pay because it's not a voluntary choice. If you do not pay this, and if it doesn't fall within these parameters, they send people with guns to arrest you and potentially shoot you. Yeah. So when you explain that concept to someone in a robust manner, they are more in alignment with, hey, Mark, the government is forcing you to give them $250 million by force or threat. That's what's happening. So people don't flesh these concepts out. Or when I say bigotry, because everybody's afraid of the racist word.
You said people of color. Like,
right.
I'm saying he's a black man. I'm not even using that because I come from the Democratic Convention. I'm like, what the person of color? Like, that's a black man. That's a brown man. I'm a white man. I mean,
that's it.
Yeah.
And so when those people are introduced to those terms without fleshing them out, they start to get triggered because that's their programming. If I said to you, you get to be a socialist, you get to be a communist, you get to be on a commune, in a community. Yeah. You struggle around the word communism because I understand that there should be I don't want anybody I don't want the state to own the means of production, right? And free market enterprise. But when I then say, hey, if you want to practice that and you guys own 10 acres and y'all do that in that space, that's still American. Yeah. They are at liberty to do that. Flesh these conversations out, and a lot of times, very rarely, it happens, but more rarely do you see a conversation where it's, we want to impose our thing onto you. More so than that, it's, we just want to do this thing over here. Yeah, that's a libertarian. When I want to go hang out with some of my communist friends and I go, hey, what do you mean? What does that mean? You guys got a commune? Y'all work together and grow food? Oh, that's great. Cool. I'm going to come over there and learn some. And that's your thing. And I don't necessarily subscribe to it fully, but I can understand that part, and that part. And I'm not creating division. Yeah. That is libertarianism.
You got a lot of work to do because we have the same type of language, right? Because the same people who are mad at you or mad at me would say, oh, socialists want to kill us. I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. There's just certain things that we have. Like, I believe that Medicare for all should be something. I don't want the government to control it. I like to see a stipend. I believe that central planning can work. We can play nicely in the sandbox if possible. Yeah. You talked about this being the third party out here. However, right now, Cornel West, Jill Stein from the Green Party are polling higher than any libertarian candidate. Do you see this? I know you have a lot of work to do today. There's going to be a lot of people here who's like, Maj is a rock star. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be threatened the territory, like, oh, he's coming into our territory, taking our thunder.
Well, I did take their territory. It's not theirs. Yeah, it's mine now. It's mine. That's it. That's it. And I want to be a good steward over the territory. It's no different than land. Yeah, I didn't create it. I either bought it, I tilled the soil, and I grew some stuff on it, and now I defend it. If you have a stronger army, then you possibly could take it, right? If you were not doing the thing that was necessary to get more people in, huge shouts to, in my opinion, Angela McArdle has done a great job with, as people have been leaving because they want to take their ball and leave the sandbox, right? Yeah. And that's cool. You're welcome to do that, but thank you. If you don't want to work together to try to expand this while we struggle around discussions, right? Because we got to sculpt beautiful works of art. We got to struggle around that. If you want to leave and take it, cool. And that's where some of the polling comes. Some of those people that you name that are polling a little bit higher, they already had 20 years of brand recognition. The Jill Steins, the Cornel West. Come on. Cornel West, I love Cornel West, right? And when I say that, I'm saying that as an intellectual, right? I don't think he's going to get up here arguing and yelling at people. He's going to say, these are the facts. When he sat down with Candace Owens, he was like, my sister, my brother. There's room. The Constitution, when the Articles of Confederation and those arguments and the ratification happened, it wasn't just like, hey, guys, it's nice and whatever. We had to write 85
There's a lot
fucking
of work over
essays
there to
out.
happen,
Right.
that shit. Yeah, I get it.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you scrap Rumble. Come on, man. The Marines was created in Philly in a tavern, a bar. So this work that needs to be done is great. I just, like I said in Reno years ago, I just want everybody to come do the work. We all know that the so-called lowest of the libertarians, right, probably has a better understanding of liberty, freedom, the Constitution, individual rights, and actual conservatism than most of some of the more well-read, mid to well-read, conservatives.
Absolutely.
With that being the case, just come and do some work, man. Like the arguing or the feeling like I'm gonna be at the Mises booth the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. Anyone that has an issue, we can talk about it. We can figure out where the miscommunication is. You're not gonna do shit to me. Like, I'm not gonna do anything to you. Let's get past the silly shit, because as we're introducing rivalries, Trump is like, we need to go talk to them.
Yeah. He's coming to you guys, right? He's courting you guys.
Vivek is like, hey, we need to go here. RFK Jr. is going. Sometimes people aren't aware of the power that they have because they're they can't see the forest for the trees. Yeah. So it is my territory now. That's just it.
Let's stay here.
And it's a territory that it's actually our territory. I just got a little bit of the market share. That's
I got you. And listen, I'm all about my question today. This overall question is there a place? Is there a home for me for a leftist libertarian in the Libertarian Party?
Hell
That's
yeah.
going to be. Well, you say hell yeah because you're there. You're opening up this tent. And like I said, people were excited about Maj. He's bringing people in.
Yeah.
But here's my question to you. I talked about the libertarian person. We don't have a candidate that's exciting the populace yet. We'll try to get him out there. We'll see what's going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
Well. I shouldn't say we because I'm not one of us just yet because I'm not a registered libertarian. I don't know if I will be. But how do you get a centralized message? Like at the Rage Against the War Machine, where it was lucky with all these anti-imperialist leftists joining these libertarians. Angela was there. She was like, let's open up the tent. I found an avenue to get some leftists in. I heard that 60% of the new members here were Republicans and 40% were the Democrats. I think that's crazy. For me, I think it would be like 85 Republican, 15 Democrat, but there's so many Democrats that are coming in. How do you push a centralized message to grow this third party? Because this is the third party in a decentralized party. When you have that situation where you got people from the New Hampshire party getting all pissed off. How do you grow that message? Because Angela can't sack anybody, right?
You just need more force multipliers. More people that are willing to say, yo, that's what you believe. That's cool. Where are the areas that we're going to do some work together on? There's people that like the New Hampshire people. Yo, bro, you guys at a certain point, there was a thing called salutary neglect during the colonies when King George was still running things. Salutary neglect was in essence, you guys got your own energy, meaning King George, y'all got your own energy. Y'all going to run your thing the way that you run it. Make sure you get them taxes to me. That salutary neglect is just an understanding that they have their own culture. Each demographic has its own liberty culture. Yeah. And some of the people that I think are goofballs that run some of the New Hampshire pages don't speak for the vast majority of libertarians in New Hampshire. Yeah. They don't. And New Hampshire's getting stuff done. Yeah. And there's still room for those guys that I think are goofballs. I still would have a drink with them. Yeah, I think you're a goofball, but do you want a beer?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, one of them is a close friend of mine. The other one, I'm looking for. I'm ready to have a conversation. Like, let's go. I mean, because the thing is that when people see the New Hampshire Libertarian Party on Twitter, they think it's a libertarian party as a whole, and they're like, "See, these guys are anti-socialist. They're racist." That's what they say. That's what a lot of people say. I get calls all the time. Pastor, your libertarian friends are at it again.
That's an opportunity for us to expose to them. That's like when people that I move in conservative circles too. When Trump is edited weird, right? There were fine people on both sides, and I get that phone call years ago about the Charlotte thing, right? Yeah. And then I go, here's the rest of that media. When he says, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis, they should be rebuked. Yeah. That's in that clip too. Yeah. So these are just opportunities for us to explain to people that don't know. And that's an opportunity for them to go, oh man, no different than when he was in Puerto Rico and they clipped when him throwing the paper towel. And there's more to that video. Yeah. So these in Japanese, the symbol or word or term for crisis and opportunity is the same word. Yeah. These crises where people are going, oh, here's these New Hampshire guys. I just go, Well, look at this, look at that, look at that. And that guy that may have used to be in control in New Hampshire, he got kicked out of that state chapter for these types of things. These are opportunities. And then we present them. No Democrat's going to be mad if you hand them a Ron Paul book.
Yeah.
So you just use it as an opportunity.
Well, there will be Democrats that will get mad that if you do hand them a Ron Paul book. I think the majority of voters won't because they understand and they started to learn who Ron Paul was. I mean, especially now when they see clips of Ron Paul going, Israel created Hamas and funded Hamas. Like he was the first OG on the floor to say that. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I love the fact that you say when there's a crisis, there's an opportunity. That is just some great stuff. Okay, let's talk about this. There was some talk out there that Maj might have been running for president right now.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of the folks that are running for president. I saw Chase over there. I saw Lars and stuff like that. I would say this much. If there was a Dave Smith, Clinton Russell ticket right now, I'd be so excited, especially the way they've been leading the charge. You know, it used to be you depend on the left in America to be anti-war. It's been the libertarians
100%
that have been anti-war. Why didn't Maj throw his name into the hat over here to run
that
for
was
president?
A rumor that I would run for president.
Yeah.
That was a rumor.
You didn't entertain the rumor a little bit? Or
I
not?
entertain all of the rumors. I don't follow up on them, but rumors are entertaining. I also, boom.
Of course, that was on the air.
You got it?
All right. Can we go continue?
Yeah,
All right. I also think that there's probably somewhere politically there's something like that in my future. I'm right now I'm too focused on outreach, and it's like I understand why Dave didn't run.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, since not running, has been on a major reason why there's Republicans and Democrats coming into the Libertarian National Convention is because of Dave being on platforms.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, Candace Owens. I like him in the position that he's in at this moment. And it does not mean that in 5, 10, 4, 12 years, Dave can't decide to run. Similar to me. It's like, yo, I got some people would get upset and say, oh, he's like a comedian. I don't know if he's really. Well, now he's looking like a young, John F. Kennedy. Yeah. That's charismatic. Yeah. And that's in this age is doing what needs to be done. So I wasn't upset about that. I understand that family is very, very important.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, yo, I got to get this. We got to buy the Solutionary Center. We fundraising. We need $200,000 to buy that building, to have a base, to continue to keeping these classes. So everybody's position, every single one of the candidates that are running for president, for the Libertarian Party, and the vice president candidacy are all sharper than me. All of them. So,
but they don't have your people skills and your charisma.
That's true. That's true.
And we know it's a popularity contest when it comes to president. And my next question is for you. Mm-hmm. Do you see this as a missed opportunity? I mean, I see that you have long-term vision. You're like, let's build something. It's going to take some time. Yeah. We're going to put some sweat equity into this, and years from now, we're going to reap the benefits. Yeah. But you are the third party. I agree. I heard you in that interview. We are the third party. You said the Libertarian Party is the third party. And this is their coming out, and they don't have a candidate.
No, but it's lost opportunity. Not at all. Not at all. The move, Liberty isn't just about just the presidency right now. Liberty is about connecting with Americans across the country. Liberty is about these folks that are going to come here from the Democrat and Republican Party going, I like what they're talking about. When I go back home, I'm going to try to implement those philosophies into my political corner of the world. Yeah. I'm going to run for city council. I'm going to run for mayor. I'm going to run for representative, whatever that is. Liberty isn't just about this. We can't say on one hand, current party politics on a duopoly is wrong, and then say we should replicate it. We can't replicate what's wrong. We need to change the hearts and minds. The reason why Ron Paul is beloved, the reason why I can say, Michael Heiss and the Mises Caucus is beloved, and there's a passion for that, and they took over the Libertarian Party, is because of them saying this is a movement. We can't on one hand say we like the people that like Trump, we like him because he's not like a politician, and then say you guys got to move like a politician. The founders were not moving like politicians. Yeah. The founders were farmers, were blacksmiths, were thinkers, were philosophers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Franklin being a multi-level genius, right? So we need everyday people to pick up this mantle. It will not be one candidate. It will never be. You can have people that you like. People can like me. I'm charismatic. I don't fit the traditional mold. Same reason why they like Dave Smith.
Yeah.
right? But Dave Smith is more effective in weaving jokes about liberty and anti-war and communicating about these things, right? With the great help of Scott Horton and antiwar.com.
Yeah.
Infusing that information into the general psyche of the general public is how we strengthen and advance movements. Then the people will say, this is the next crop of politicians that will come from a liberty space. When you see a Dave Smith, you see a Ron Paul. When you definitely see a Mike Heist, you 1000% see a Ron Paul. You know, and you cannot, when you see me, you see a Walter Williams, Philly cat, right? You cannot separate, and I don't, because people will say, oh, you made that about race because Walter Williams black, right? But he's from Philly. He's a liberty dude, right? He's, you know, Temple, University. Like, these are the things that salutary neglect, that energy from that room. And I own all of Ron Paul's books. My point in saying all of this is the current crop of people that are being grown into this fruit that this liberty tree will bear will solve the political conversation, because all of the branches will be liberty branches. So we cannot, throw out the baby with the bathwater. We are not in a national infrastructure way. We're doing things to bring attention to ourselves, but we still got to do the decentralized revolution move. It is across the nation. And so getting the candidate, boom, that's great. Getting ballot access, boom, that's great. But the exposure to these ideas, that idea is the most resilient thing. You cannot unsee it anymore. When you see that there's goofballs pretending to be conservatives, advocating that, saying that they're supposed to be about limited government, but they're asking for more government and more government spending, those people that thought they were Republicans or find out today that, man, these guys are actually rhinos. When they come here, they cannot unsee that anymore. Mm-hmm. That is more powerful than what candidate do you have in a national election where you will not win.
Yeah, I know you won't win, but I still think you'll get the stage and the rhetoric and the narratives will get out there. And I get that whole part. I'll get one more question, and maybe Don has a question or two.
Yeah.
But my question is, what are your thoughts on RFK and Trump coming? I mean, why are they here? Mm-hmm. First of all, you're a Mises Caucus guy. Why are they here? And what do you expect to get out of this?
Because Angela invited them and said, we want to do a redress of grievances. I don't think the general public understands what a redress of grievances actually is. I'm interested to see how that goes, right? But they're coming here because it's our territory. America's libertarians' territory.
Yeah.
Trump would not be coming here if it was not important in an election year, because 10, 11, 12% of the general public, that's who sways elections. And there's going to be cheating. There was cheating in 2020.
You ain't got to tell me that.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm an election integrity guy, so yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, we got to shore up all of our bases. And then him being exposed to Vivek. Vivek is exposed to Dave Smith and a ton of other libertarians and Angela McArdle. Same thing with RFK Jr., right? Our ideas are influencing theirs because ours are more in alignment with what American values and foundational principles are.
Absolutely.
We're influencing them.
Absolutely.
It's like that. It's like, have you ever seen that movie, The Watchmen?
I have seen The Watchmen.
Boom. And remember when Rorschach was like, oh, he was in a prison, and he's like, oh, y'all think I'm locked in here with you.
You're locked in here.
You're locked in here with me.
That's the libertarian message.
You're in here with us.
Yeah.
Because we actually control this.
Yeah.
There was 3%, allegedly, there were 3% of people that bust their guns in the American Revolution. They only needed 3% of people to bust their guns to overcome the mighty British Empire. 3%. We could make up 10 to 12% of overall elections with our ideas and choices. You got all roads lead to libertarians, all of them. There are no more charismatic speakers than us.
Yeah.
There definitely are no more well-read people than us.
Yeah.
There are no more people, crypto libertarians.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, I should say.
Bitcoin.
Right? Decentralized in the Fed. Yeah. These people are catching up to the talking points that Ron Paul said. He's been on a 40-year hot streak. So, saying this to say, all roads come through liberty. Yeah. All of them. And with the onslaught of social media, you can't trick the general public anymore. Elon coming through and saying, hey, here's the Twitter files. Here's how the federal government under that last administration told us and Meta platforms to exercise a destruction of your free speech. The general public sees it now. The law of exposure states, once seen, it cannot be unseen.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important for them to be here. And them libertarians in that room aren't going to be like, we agree with you because we like you. Not you. Have we met libertarians? Like, no, that's not going to happen. If it's time to boo somebody, they're going to get booed.
Yeah.
If you're saying the things that are right, and if you're critical, they're going to be critical. I champion and commend them for coming. This is hostile media for them.
Yeah, I get it. So I think that in the future, though, we have to have some conversations about the economics, because I think that's where me personally, because I kind of describe libertarian economics as like, say you have a football game, remove all the referees and think it's going to work itself out. I think that, we talk about regulations.
You
guys want to deregulate everything, right?
Not,
I mean, there's no central planning. There's no
Medicare
for all.
Some libertarians believe that, not all.
Well, here's
you're
my
a
question.
Libertarian and you don't believe that.
Well, I'm not a registered libertarian.
So
I consider myself a leftist libertarian.
Most libertarians aren't registered in the party. And most libertarians aren't even party members.
The reason why I call myself a leftist libertarian is because I'm an anti-imperialist leftist, right? That's where I stand. That's my main crux of what I am. I'm an election integrity activist, that sort of thing. But I think it's important to highlight the libertarian values here that have been forgotten with censorship, with demonetization in the United States, with this authoritarian overreach, freedom of speech, free speech absolute, freedom of the press, Julian Assange, Ross Ulbricht. They don't talk about Mumia enough over here at Leonard Peltier. Hey, we have to introduce that to them. So, we can do that. Julian Assange, the whole 9 yards, Snowden. And I wanted to kind of end the anti-imperialism of the anti-interventionism, the libertarianism. I wanted to introduce that. But when it comes to economics, for some reason, do you think, my question is this much, rather than get into a discussion.
No, go ahead.
Do you think that because when I talk to you, it's like, for me, Maj is looking for compromise. Like, he doesn't have to have his way or the highway. And that's some of the goofballs we talked about. It's like, you got to be this way of a libertarian. Like, their argument is, what libertarian books have you read? It's like, what does that got to do with modern day today and whatnot? You're looking for compromise. Do you think there is a big form of compromise within the Libertarian Party that maybe some of it to get a big, broader message and eventually one day take the White House, if this is possible, that they have to reach some type of compromise and maybe go with a little bit more like central planning a little bit or something else? What do you think become of that?
There is no compromise. It's not adding things. It's taking things away. When you repeal some of the overreaching legislation, you get back to the Constitution. So it's not a compromise. It's just the return to the origin. That's all it is. No, nowhere in the Constitution do we say we're supposed to send Israel, Africa, Ukraine, insert anything, money of tax dollars. No.
I get that.
So it's not. Is there a compromise? It's these are our standards. We're willing to listen to you. The thing that could be presented as a compromise is us saying, hey, come here and we're an open tent for you to express your values. That's not even a compromise. That's us being civil and respectful as Americans. So the compromise in a sense of like changing what our values are, absolutely not. We don't have to do it. We just got to remove some of the bullshit that's been entrenched over time.
I get like the whole mindset of like, we talked about regulations the other day. Me and my friend, we come from the left, right? So we come from the Democratic Party, ex-Democrats. So leftist, they honestly.
Okay, that's fine.
Don, sorry. The left, sometimes we have this situation where we say, okay, we need some form of regulations because there's some form of protections, right? How do you figure that? And I kind of explain.
Is it?
Well, the Libertarian Party understands that the majority of regulations are to sack the small guy, so they can't grow. So at the end of the day, if we had to have it your way or what's going on now, of course I go with the Libertarian way. But the common sense, practical way says, well, why can't we have some form of smart regulation there that's going to make sure our water's not polluted, to make sure our air's not dirty?
No. So listen. That sounds like when anti-gunners say, why can't we just have some form of common sense gun control? We do. Safe and responsible gun owners are safe and responsible. Don't be negligent or you'll have criminal charges if you violate somebody's body or their property with this firearm. That's it.
I get that, but I think there's something missing there.
No, it's not.
Well, here's my well. Listen,
You can think that, but it's it's nothing
all right,
missing.
but we have a drugged up nation. Big Pharma has drugged up this whole nation. We have SSRIs.
Mhm.
We have all these opioids. We have people who are not in good mental capacity, and they don't necessarily have to take a mental evaluation to get a gun. And I would like to see something that says you have to have a clear bill of health to get that.
You're wrong,
Yeah.
because then somebody could say, okay, I double down on you and say your cholesterol is too high or your heart rate is too high, and I think you're unhealthy, and that's going to have an impact. Science has shown what's in your gut could affect your brain. That may be impacting your mental thing, so I don't want you to have a gun. Government regulation, again, it's peeling it back to the Second Amendment. Are you the owner of this gun? Yes. Did you shoot this person? Yes. Was it a justified use of deadly force? No. You go to jail. Regulation.
Yeah.
This is your gun. We want you to take classes. I would love to see if philanthropists say, hey, we're going to put together, this is what we do at Black Guns Matter. We're going to teach the people, hey, voluntary donations. We're going to teach the people safe and responsible firearms ownership. Yeah. Violent crime, negligence decreases in those areas where we do that. There is no need for government intervention there. Yeah. The free market provides. When you keep asking government for more control, they are bureaucrats. They're going to try to twist it for their control. So if I say, I think porn is damaging young men's minds, I think so. I do not want government to say you cannot watch porn, because some people are into it. There's billions of dollars in economies and jobs off of that. Morally, I'm opposed to it. Do I think that the government should control it? No. Tell me the thing that government has controlled that has made Americans' quality of life better. The areas where it's absolutely vital to Americans' health, where government has the most control and regulations, it fucks it up. The U.S. dollar has lost 96% of its value since 1913. That is government regulation. Yeah. And since 2013 was 10 years ago. So in 110 years, 96% of the US dollar has eroded, all because of government control. And you want more of that shit?
I don't want more of that shit. I want responsible of that shit.
They think that's responsible.
But that's because we have a system that doesn't allow us to elect people. It has selections. We have the wrong people controlling things. If we had fair elections, we can hire those who we want. We can fire those who we
controls
want.
The Fed? Those 20 some odd guys that control the Fed.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Are they elected?
No, I want to get rid of the Fed though too as well.
That's removing the regulation.
No, I hear you.
You actually agree with me in this, because you identify as more left leaning.
Yeah.
This is why I have a great engagement with people that are still Democrats fully, because you just introduce them to the idea. You're going to think about this later. Yeah. You're going to go, damn, that did kind of make sense.
No, I've thought about it before. It does make sense, but I think there's just so much more to it.
Oh, it's nuanced for sure.
I mean, there's so much more nuance. Yeah. We understand when we talk about a drugged up America, we talk about propagandized America. We have a mechanism, and this is all right. So this is my final question.
Okay.
So as leftists, me and my friend Don over there, and Donna, if you want to get a question, let me know. Okay. Yeah. As leftists, we understand that there is this mechanism. There's this monster. There's a creature from Jekyll Island, mega sized, that is controlling everything. It's forcing all these foreign policy decisions. Yep. It's causing death and destruction all over the place. I say that 95% of the suffering is put upon us by the ruling class, right? The Fed. That if we would just remove them, well, people above the Fed too, because there's people in the military-industrial complex that are not necessarily tied to the Fed. They're tied into war. Yeah. I mean, they're all tied. Everything's tied into each other. We understand that. We understand, and this, I don't think this is necessarily a socialist point of view, but we understand that we have to come together somehow and get rid of this mechanism. Yeah. A lot of people feel that libertarians kind of want to just opt out of that and just kind of say, no, don't touch me. We just want to
no. I don't know what
join forces with us to go take down this monster.
I don't know what libertarian is saying. I don't want to join forces. The Rage Against the War Machine was a clear example of that. I don't know no libertarians that's saying, because you disagree here, and again, they can identify as whatever they want. However, most libertarians, in my lived experience, anecdotal as it may be, are like, can we agree here? There's nobody going, you know what? Fed is still awesome, so we should keep the Fed. Or we're not going to work with you to end the Fed. I think more so libertarians are saying, we want to tell you why the Fed should be gone. Yeah. And in that space, when you educate that consumer or that new mind and say, here's the economics of it, here's how it's been destructive, here's how your wealth is stolen because of it, here's how elections are stolen because of it, here's how coups happen in other nations. So if we're not having free and fair elections over there because we're interfering, we're definitely not going to have it here, right? So if you explain that to the general public, that they understand it, and then they start to go, okay, I'm down with removing that. I don't know any libertarians that saying I'm tapping out. I don't want to.
Well, I don't think they say they're tapping out. I think they're more about married to their ideology, where it's kind of like this anarchist mentality of like, just get off my back, let me do my own thing. Stop restricting me.
I can see that,
you know what I'm saying?
But it inevitably leads you back to the Fed is restricting you.
Yeah.
You may not be. You want to go off to your own world and like not be. I'm not interested in politics. Well, that politic is interested in you. You know, and so no, I think that libertarians, especially the right and leaning folks that have come here, that are going to be exposed to the libertarians that think like you and I, that are saying no, we have to deal with this creature, this monster, and here's the data to support. Huge shouts to Thomas Massey, who just introduced the In the Fed bill.
Yeah, Thomas Massey.
We have to talk about that all day, all weekend while we're here at the Libertarian National Convention. But I'm gonna get out of here, man. You ain't gonna trick me.
You have one question.
You ain't gonna trick me. You ain't gonna trick me into staying here talking
for
6 hours.
Maj Torre, ladies and gentlemen, go check them out.
I
Mises
appreciate
Caucus will be hanging
Yeah, I'll
out
be at the
there.
booth.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Peace.
Thank you, man. For sure.
I'll come over and say hi. Yeah, pull up. I got wine over there, everything.
Definitely, I'll see you inside. I'm looking for.